I had a question for you. Now I forgot what it was. Oh, I would like to know more about the production history of the movie The Wizard. Because the Power Glove was not a Nintendo product per se, but The Wizard was clearly a Nintendo movie.
For people listening and not watching, I am in fact wearing a Nintendo Power Glove. It is my finest pandemic purchase.
And Kurt watched The Wizard last week.
So I actually did not end up watching The Wizard. Instead, we watched Super Mario Brothers. I'll get around to The Wizard, but I like hokey bad movies for the kids. It's fun. But even The Wizard, I was like, it's too bad. The thing's basically a Power Glove, NES, and Universal Studios commercial rolled into one.
Okay, but I guarantee you it's better than Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers has good sets, good music,
Good sets,
good actors. The story is incoherent. I really think it was like they had a script for something else, got the license from Nintendo for Mario Brothers, and they just like, do a quick rewrite, we'll make it work.
I don't know. Jenny Lewis is like a big singer now, and she's the little girl in The Wizard. That's weird.
Well, in both those movies, a lot of good actors. That's just, misguided efforts. Yeah, they can't all be winners.
I just like that Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo would get like hammered before every take because they were like, "This is a nightmare."
They'd go out. Yeah, they knew they were hosed. Ugh. Anyway, so trying to find that movie is impossible in this country because the World Trade Center is in it and gets damaged, and so I assume that's why it's miraculously just unavailable anywhere in this country.
That's your hypothesis.
That's my hypothesis. I don't know. I mean, I know it's unavailable.
And it is out on Blu-ray and various things in the UK.
And in other countries, you can get it.
Yeah, so it's weird that it's available in other countries but not in the US. That's like a decision. That's not like a music rights issue or whatever. Someone is choosing not to release it here.
And that's I think my hypothesis is good.
All right.
Or alternatively, whoever has the license, did you suspect it may be in the end Disney?
I think Disney owns the rights to it because they were part of the production, and one of the other companies that was part of the production went out of business, and all of its stuff was bought by Disney. So Disney owns at least two
they're like,
shares.
Look, should we add the Mario Brothers movie to Disney Plus? And Bob Iger's like, let's hold off on that.
Get the $1 Million Duck up there, but we can't have Super Mario.
What's the $1 Million what?
The $1 Million Duck?
What's that?
It's a bad when Disney did bad 70s live action movies.
Oh yeah, the 70s live action stuff, no bueno. Like The Navigator. Ugh. My wife loves that movie.
Are you talking about Flight of the Navigator?
Yeah, Flight of the Navigator.
Which is from the 80s and is an all-time classic. How dare you?
That movie.
One of the greatest films ever made. I
trash.
loved that movie when I was a kid. I watched it all the time. I had it on VHS recorded off of TV.
All right, well, you could text my wife about it because she feels similarly. And I only watch it as an adult, so I'm like, what is going on?
Me and Julie actually text each other a lot about things that we privately like together and you make fun of.
No!
Your wife and I have like a little side text going.
No! So somebody in the Facebook group, somebody wanted, and I promise this is a show about e-commerce. We'll get there. I get 10 minutes of cold open, all right?
That's a lot of time.
But hey, well, they could fast forward, or you know what? We talk about things other than e-commerce. You just got to accept it. Someone wanted to know your thoughts on virtual baseball.
They mean virtual baseball fans in the stands.
Oh, it says virtual baseball fans. Well, because I bought a VR headset. I haven't used it yet, but I downloaded a bunch of apps for it, and one is MLB VR, where you can, they have a 360-degree camera that they film the game with, and you can watch it as though you're in the bleachers with a VR headset. I downloaded it. I'll try it.
I gotta come over and try this thing when you get it set up.
Please do. Yeah,
and you can get a computer that runs it.
Well, I got the Oculus Quest. It runs standalone, or you can plug it into a computer. But I got the cable to do it, but my computer is not powerful enough for it. Maybe you just bring me a gaming PC. I'll pay for Half-Life Alyx. I gotta see this thing.
Yeah, the virtual fans at the baseball games look stupid. They look like Sims. Like the crowd is full of Sims and like their legs are cut off. And some of them are sitting, but they're sitting like 2 feet above the seat they're supposed to be sitting in.
Who's this supposed to benefit? I don't get why we're doing the virtual attendance. It's just weird.
Because like you'll feel weird. If you'll feel weird watching
but like being watched by 1,000 mannequins is not weird.
Well, watching watching it on TV, you know, it's trying to make you feel less weird because you know everything else is not weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's okay like, for this to be weird.
The fake bad CGI fans, those will fix it.
Oh, they're CGI?
Yeah, they look. No, they're on the broadcast. I thought they were like
mannequins.
No, on the broadcast, Fox CGI's in fake fans in the stands like
in real time.
Yeah.
That's
no, they're just
so
like
weird.
People, they're like this.
All right, now I have to see this. It sounds terrible.
Everyone wanted to know how my floor remodeling went.
All right, give it to me.
My floors are very nice. I love them. My house is mostly done. In fact, all the trash guys came and took all the trash we had shoved in the garage out today. So I would say my house is 90% done. All that's left is the terrible screen porch needs to be ripped out in the back.
I like that you had someone to come out to look at this screen porch, and the guy goes, not touching it.
Well, because he wasn't like an actual construction guy. He was a landscaping guy, whatever. Oh, and I probably want to get the house rewired because I tried to install an outlet, and one of the neutral wires was hot and caused my sump pump to break or something. So, yeah, my house wiring, not so good.
Maybe you just let the neutral go to ground.
Those are words.
All right, I think you need an electrician. On this episode of the Unofficial Shopify podcast, we're going to discuss some listener-suggested topics from our Insiders Facebook group. We're going to talk about bookkeeping for profitability, and then we'll tear down the official Lego store. I'm your host, Kurt Elster. Joining me today is my co-host and longtime friend, Paul Rita. Mr. Rita, how are you doing? Where are you from? Where are you located?
I'm in our office, which you don't come to anymore.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
It would be nice, maybe if you would like come here every once in a while.
I come once a week for like 20 minutes to get the mail, water my plants, and then I run out screaming and hyperventilating.
The mall is bumping today.
That's not a good thing.
It is packed out there.
Well, it's been brutally hot in Chicago, and now finally it's cooled off a little bit.
It was a nice day today, but yeah, it is packed out there. Everyone's wearing a mask though, so no OGs wreck.
I just got another mask I impulse bought from an Instagram ad, and it was from. That's pretty much my life now. It's just impulse buying stuff off the internet. A little retail therapy. I got another one, but it was from a Shopify store, so that was nice.
All right.
That's all I got. All right. I'm not my usual hammy self today because I did a webinar for Shopify Compass for an hour, and I wanted to nail it. It's been a little while since they've asked me to do like a speaking gig, and so I showed up prepared and pumped and a little anxious, and I did great. They said they're going to put up a replay for it. But yeah, I can only be an extroverted psycho for so long a day. So I used up some of that energy. In the webinar.
I see you a lot, and you seem to be an extroverted psycho for most of the day when I see you.
All right. I appreciate that confidence. I see you're getting lonely as well. I'm ready to go back. The pandemic scares me.
We come back. We sit in the office all day. It's not like we interact with anyone.
And I got that cool sticker on the door to scare people away.
That sticker, I didn't want to say anything. It's dumb as hell.
What does the sticker say?
I don't even remember. It's like, rub-a-dub-dub, wear a mask. Like, it's so fucking stupid. And it's like gold on our wood door so you can't even read it. Like, you clearly were so fucking proud of yourself. And I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to just message you out of the blue and be like, hey, buddy, this thing is dumb as shit.
Now I'm leaving it up there out of spite. Only for like a month, then I'll take it down out of shame.
All right, there you go.
Spite will turn to shame.
Yeah, it's like your standing desk when I made fun of your standing desk, and then you realized you immediately hated it, but you kept it up for another week because I had made fun of you too much.
Yeah, that was my spite desk. I mean, I was very clear. I told you it was a spite desk.
Yeah, I was like, this is going to last one day. And you're like, no, it's not. I'm going to love it.
I went in with the best intentions.
And then after half an hour, quietly in your head, you were like, I made a huge mistake.
Yeah, I'm built for sitting. It's okay. All right. So someone in the Facebook group had said that they have been really interested lately in how to manage finances. What program do you use for managing expenses and profit? QuickBooks? ? how do we make this process easier and more streamlined? How do we look at cutting expenses and becoming profitable? Huh. Any thoughts here, Mr. Rita?
I don't know anything about this. I just don't spend a lot of money, and then I just quietly don't spend more money than I have, which is not a solution for people.
Yeah, but that's actually really good advice. I mean, like, live within your means. That's what you said.
But they're talking about their business, and people were talking about Q4 is coming up, and in order to sell a bunch of stuff during Q4, I need to manufacture a bunch of stuff during Q3. And what if I don't have the cash to do that? So then Q4, I never end up selling a bunch of stuff. So then when next Q3 rolls around, I don't have the money to manufacture yet again. It's like, how do you get out of that trap? I don't know.
Okay. So you're right. You really described like the core problem with e-commerce is you have to pay to acquire the inventory to sell the inventory. And then if you don't have the inventory, you can't sell it. How do you forecast it? If you buy too much, what happens? I'll tell you right now. This is a problem for all e-commerce businesses that aren't just pure drop shipping, and it is a problem at all sizes of e-commerce business. It is something you will gain a sense of over time. You could do inventory forecasting, but that is just kind of a core problem to be solved here. The other question was more around, like the day-to-day operations, which is really is bookkeeping. So Shopify itself, if you wanted to, you could put in cost of goods sold for all your products, and then you could get a pretty quick, like, okay, here is my profitability in my Shopify store. So that is a nice metric, a nice, like a KPI to use to figure out how you're doing at any given time period. As far as, but that won't work well for like accounting and logging at all. I know a lot of people use QuickBooks. I think QuickBooks is a damnable tool. I don't think it's particularly good. And I don't think doing your own bookkeeping is valuable as a business owner. I think that's like one of the first things you can outsource. We've been using for years, we use Bench. I really like Bench. It's like web-based accounting software, and there's a human behind it who does your bookkeeping. So it's connected to our payment platforms. It pulls everything in, and they categorize it. If they don't know how to categorize it, they ask you, they learn from it, and then the best part about this is at the end of the year, I just get a report that I hit forward on to my CPA, and then he replies back with, here's your taxes. That's it. I never think about it. I don't have to worry about it. And like Bench, often there are months will go by where I don't have to categorize anything. So it's just like my bookkeeping and our taxes, the whole thing's on autopilot. I love it. And for that and we've been doing this for years now. So for that reason, I'm like, just if bookkeeping is a pain for you, you shouldn't be doing it. Hire a bookkeeper, a CPA, use Bench, get some of them to do it. And I got an affiliate link because Bench works with Shopify. So I'll put my referral link in the show notes. And I don't know quite what their offer is, but they phrased it as that you'll receive up to $250 in savings. My guess is like you get a month free is really what happens. But on being profitable, definitely use the cost of goods sold, but there's a lot of, because we're in online businesses, there's a lot of really practical ways to save money over time that you should do and that we use. So number one, once I have this set up as a calendar event, so I remember to do it once a year, usually in Q4, I review our credit card. So I can't, there's stuff you signed up for and forgot that you can get rid of. So I'll cancel a bunch of stuff. And then what's left over, anything I'm keeping, I will go through and try and sign up for it annually. If you really want to go deep in the weeds and be a bargain hunter, every so often I will call some of the services we use, and like your credit card, your internet service, I will call them up and be like, hey, I've been a customer for this long. I've never missed a payment. Anything you could do to help me lower my monthly bill? And occasionally that actually works. Like I knocked $20 off our phone bill. Oh. And there's services that will actually they call up and impersonate you, and they'll negotiate on your behalf. I think Bill Shark is one of those. I used Bill Shark, and it didn't work great. Like, they reduced my Comcast bill, but I also ended up with a lot fewer channels. It wasn't the best idea.
Well, your bill got reduced.
It's true, because they reduced my service tier. That wasn't great. The other thing just like with the annual billing, you're prepaying. Well, maybe you hire a Shopify developer. You've got people on your team that are contractors, 1099 contractors. Ask if you could prepay for a quarter or 6 months or a year, whatever makes sense for you, and you will get a discount for it. Like 10% on, someone you pay 4 figures a month. Well, okay, or in a year, that's considerable savings. So all of this stuff adds up. And then lastly, as you're reviewing your expenses, the mindset to take, and we talked about this before, is expenses versus investments. Try and categorize your expenses as like, okay, this is an expense. This is an investment in my business. So once you do that, then like the investments, those are the safe ones, and then the expenses, all right, what can we do to reduce those costs or get rid of them? That's my financial advice. I'm not a CPA, let's be clear.
Well, and this came up in the group since you wrote up our outline for this recording. Someone was asking about there's like a Shopify loan program that they got contacted about. Shopify Capital. And everyone pretty much universally was like, if you have a bank with a business account, they will give you a loan at a better interest rate than Shopify Capital.
Okay.
Talk to me about that.
So if we rephrase this...
Because interest rates right now are non-existent. They're just handing out free money. It's like Eddie Murphy in the White Man sketch.
Is that an SNL throwback?
Well, yeah. What else would it be?
Oh, I don't know. Eddie Murphy is quite a prolific comedian, sir. He's been in a few films. Such notable films as The Nutty Professor.
No, Norbit.
That's his best.
Yeah.
I see. I really like Trading Places. I think that's probably my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. That's a lot of fun. Oh, so we were talking about loans. So the previous question was, hey, I've got like really inventory forecasting creates issues with cash flow in an e-commerce business was like the core issue there. And so one of the solutions is loans, right? If you already know that you could sell the inventory, then getting a loan to buy the inventory is really in no way a bad idea. Leveraging debt, you should do carefully and sparingly, but in a business where you're confident about how the business is operating, I'd be willing to take that bet, especially, as you're right, given the current low interest rates. And Shopify Capital is one option, but like PayPal Capital will give it to you. But ultimately, like these third-party internet lenders, probably, while they're convenient, you probably won't get as good an interest rate as if you just went to the bank where you have your business checking. They will often give you a lower rate, and especially if you use like a local credit union. Those guys, I don't know what they do, but it's like the lowest interest rates you can come up with. But I think as a tool, like we have a line of business credit that we've never used, but I keep it for a rainy day in case we need it. And like same in my personal life, I keep a line of credit for, well, because being an entrepreneur, like you really don't know what you're going to make week to week, month to month. It could be wildly vary. So I've always kept this line of credit. So I think absolutely secure a line of credit. Just because you secure it, you don't have to use it, but definitely shop around and make sure you get a decent interest rate. What's really cool about Shopify Capital or PayPal Capital, the payments are automatic. Like they just deduct it out of the payments that your customers have made to you. So you never see the payment happen. It's all automatic. There's a lot of convenience there. I like that. And we've had clients and merchants I've talked to, many who have used Shopify Capital or similar solutions.
My thought, I'm obviously not as into the finance aspect of all of this. A lot of this seemed to have been centered around, and the question was centered around cutting expenses. And I'm more into increasing margins.
Yes.
Like my wife, when she comes home from work, she her main chill out show is Shark Tank. She just watches Shark Tank while she slowly zones out from her horror show at the hospital, and she tells me the horrible things she saw that day. And like my thing is always like I'm just waiting for them to be like, all right, well, we sell it. What's your cost of manufacture? They always ask them. They're always like $20. It's like, what are you selling it for? And they're like, $30. It's like, well, what's wrong with you? Like that's not good enough margin. So I would look at ways to increase margins. Like, are your Facebook ads not as good as they could be, and you're just buying money at the traffic store, and your cost of acquisition is through the roof? Or is there some way where you could just straight up raise your prices? Like maybe raising your prices by 50% don't cause your total sales to fall by 50%. Your units sold to fall by 50%. Oh, in that trade, you ended up making more money.
What about your shipping costs? That's like the biggest single expense on your individual orders after the cost of goods sold. So you can mess with like, maybe. We just tried this app that's in beta. I think it's launching. By the time this episode comes out, I think it'll be launched. It's called Ship Scout. There's a free plug for those guys. And we used it on a Shopify Plus store. It's really cool in that it lets you split test shipping rates. So I did like, all right, what's the freest shipping rate going for? What's the and then my other. So it's just like all orders get free shipping. $0 is the threshold. Then I tested $25 and then $50. And what was interesting about it is the average order value and the cost per revenue per customer or revenue per visitor was the same, whether my shipping threshold was $25 or $50. And my conversion rate was like almost the same. But then on free shipping on all orders, that had the highest revenue per customer and had the highest conversion rate. But this may not be true for all stores, depending on how the store is set up. So messing with your shipping rates or trying to reduce your shipping rates is absolutely worthwhile. There's even services like if you use UPS, DHL, FedEx, there are services that will go back through and try and backdate, negotiate a lower rate, like through breakage, through overbilling. They'll try and fix it for you. And there's also services where like it's like a pool where everybody signs up and buys their UPS labels through this service, and then by doing that, they have the lowest possible rate. So like shipping, that's a big cost center that you could use to reduce and increase profitability. I like where you're going with this. This is good.
Yeah, well, and to go to it's different from every store. I know the store that you tested that app on. No one's leaving that store spending less than $50.
Okay, and then,
everything on that store, you're spending well over $100 to get their stuff.
You got any other? I like that line you were going with. You got anything else?
Well, yeah, no, I just look into expanding your margins. Like maybe, increase prices and find a way to make your product have a better, perspective on its quality or whatever. I'm trying to find the right word to say it.
If I could. So value is subjective. And so if I can increase the perceived value of the product.
That's what I was looking for.
Which really is like the presentation. Like look at sneakers. Is there really that big a difference between a $50 sneaker and a $200 sneaker that Nike sells? Probably not. And why is the aftermarket, like the secondary market for Nikes, like there's at least a dozen pairs of Nikes that you could buy for $2,000 in the secondary market. Are the shoes that better? No, that's entirely perceived subjective value because they've got like this huge marketing push behind them and tremendous presentation and celebrity and like all this great stuff. Well, you can apply those, like Nike doesn't own those ideas. You can apply those same concepts to your store and then justify raising the rate. At the same time, you could also, if you make your own goods, you could just arbitrarily raise your prices and do literally nothing else. There is nothing stopping you. You're the boss. You could do it. This is an argument I've had so many times or a discussion I've had so many times with freelancers. They're like, I want to raise my hourly rate. Why? Okay, go ahead. Why can't you? Well, first I have to do this. Why? Why? You set the rate. You can set it to whatever you want. The same is true of prices in your store.
Yeah, and I mean, if you raise the prices, you're going to get people that complain that you raise the prices. But you know what? They can go screw. Because, I mean, if it ends up making you more money, it's not their business. Who cares?
Yeah, there's definitely... or if you want to keep them, go, hey, this is the new price, but for you, here's a coupon code. We'll honor the old price for you for a month. Like, go ahead, knock yourself out. And at least, hey, you got the sale. They're happy that you did this customer service thing, and then maybe they'll be willing to pay more in the future. You don't have, if you want to, you could try and justify it. You absolutely don't have to. Also, it's a sale opportunity. I forgot which merchant did it, but they raised all their prices, and before they did, they emailed everybody and said, hey, because as our business grows and our expenses increase and our quality improves, we don't have a choice. We have to raise our prices, and that's going to happen on this date. So go ahead, place your orders before then. And that worked. Like it's the opposite of a sale email, but it performed like a sale email.
Yeah, and to go back to perceived value, I mean, we used to run around a lot with all the mechanical watches, like the fine mechanical watches was like, we did a bunch of stuff with those businesses. And I mean, those are entirely perceived value.
Oh, yeah.
Like Rolexes and all those watches, they keep time like shit. They're terrible.
A mechanical watch, does not keep time anywhere near as well as a quartz watch.
Yeah.
To be a Rolex is accredited as a superlative chronometer, meaning a superlative chronometer. What is the accuracy on that? A superlative chronometer can only lose or gain 10 seconds a month. A quartz watch, if it were broken, would do 10 plus or 10 seconds a year. So if men could wear diamonds and jewelry the way women could, the Swiss watch industry would not exist. It is based entirely on perceived value. You want to talk about perceived value? Can we get De Beers on the phone and explain these diamond prices to me?
Well, and also, don't forget, we're all carrying around atomic clocks in our pockets at all times.
Oh, remember when they used to do those
lose
articles?
no time.
I was like, smartphones are killing the watch industry. Will they survive? Of course they did, because it was never about telling time.
Yeah. But diamonds also worthless. Gold also worthless.
Yeah, what am I gonna do with this? I guess I could get cool teeth. All right.
I would be like, I think you do good base level stuff. It's like, let's see where my expenses are that are unnecessary that I could cut. Let's not cut stuff that actually makes our business better. Just to be like,
don't cut your nose off to spite your face.
Yeah, but how do I raise my margins? How do I cut my ad costs, raise my margins?
Just try raising your prices. You can also try increasing average order value, trying to reduce shipping expense because that's such a painful recurring expense. All right, the next question. Pre-orders is the topic, one we near and dear to our hearts. They asked about, hey, could you discuss pre-order group buy apps, assuming these may be separate, and benefits, if any, of using them? Paul, don't we happen to have a Shopify application for this?
I know about a great pre-ordering app. It's called Pre-Orders. It's by cool dudes.
What in the what?
No, it's called what's it called?
Crowdfunder? Crowdfunder.
It's called Crowdfunder, and it is essentially like a Kickstarter type front end for your Shopify store that turns your product page into a pre-order thing with a cool little bar. And you could say, we're not doing this unless 100 people actually buy it. And then you can, show how much progress has been made and your target and all that stuff. And everyone loves it.
Yeah, actually, it does do pretty well. In revenue, it is into 6 figures now. So that's good.
Well, and 5-star reviews and personal concierge service by Kurt if you have complaints.
It's true. Well, actually, my wife fields it.
And then
Julie and I tag team it.
And then he will complain about you to me.
It's true. I'm not going to complain to the customer. And I'm not complaining to you. I'm venting my frustrations with, why can't I just help everyone? A lot of our 5-star reviews and positive reviews come from negative experiences people had where I was able to say, okay, here's what happened, here's why, here's how we're going to fix it. And then that leads to a 5-star review. And it was Jay Myers at Bold who taught me that. He's like, every bad experience is just a 5-star review waiting to happen. And he was right. Those are the people, if you could turn that experience around, those are the people that leaves 5-star reviews. Anyway, pre-orders, group buy apps, those things. So yeah, we've got this app called Crowdfunder, and it's a Kickstarter widget for your product detail page. You give it your goal, and then it'll set up that goal with a progress bar. You give it an end date, and has a countdown timer. That's it. That's all it does. It's just a widget, runs on liquid code, and it just runs through your inventory to figure this out. The issue with that is I do the support for it. And so I'm well familiar with the problems and frustrations merchants face with pre-orders. Number one, I can 100% guarantee most merchants wildly overthink how you run a pre-order and what's involved. So, number one, the first problem they get into is they're like, well, we're not going to ship it until this date, so we have to hold their funds in escrow. That's insane. You do not need to do that. I don't know why you think you need to do that. If you're really worried about it, open up a free savings account and move the money there so that you don't accidentally spend it, but you're going to spend it on producing the thing anyway. So, all right, if you're accepting money for a good that you're not going to ship later, you just have to over communicate that this is a pre-order and this is the expected ship date. And to do that, do I need an app? What do I do? You don't need to do any of that. The other weird request I get is like, well, we have to change the add to cart button to a pre-order button. There's a Shopify document that'll tell you how to, Shopify how-to guide if you Google it, that'll tell you how to do this. But you also don't have to do it. And it's also not what the damn add to cart button is doing. It's still an add to cart button.
Yeah,
right?
Nothing's changing on the back end. It's just like the label is different that the person sees.
But you don't need to change it, right? Like, all right, here's how you do it. This is my solution to you want to run a pre-order. Add the words pre-order to the product title. The reason is now it will appear as a pre-order everywhere anyone sees it because everything pulls the product title, the order confirmation email, the cart, the checkout, Facebook ads, everything will then have pre-order in the title. If it is in the title of the product, no one can claim you didn't tell them. Then say this is a pre-order. The expected ship date is X, but not guaranteed, and put that bold as the first line in the product description. That's it. You're done. You now have a pre-order. No apps, no customizations, no silly services. And there is a pre-order related app out there that frequently breaks stores, and as a result, often people pair it with Crowdfunder, but they put that app first, then install Crowdfunder. And because of recency bias, I get an email saying Crowdfunder broke their store. Oh, my PayPal button disappeared. My add to cart, my product form's gone. Crowdfunder did it. No, it didn't. There's this other stupid pre-order app that I will not name that drives me crazy.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
So, all right, if you are going to run a pre-order campaign and you're going to do it in a transparent public fashion, like Kickstarter style, where you share this is our goal, and if we don't get here, we're not producing it. The trick to that is it really is not about your goal and what you're trying to do there. You want to start below your goal because it's social proof. These apps are for social proof. They're not really for managing your back office operations. That's up for you to do. And you should be able to do it. You could go in Shopify and what do you need to do here? See how many orders you got? Well, that's a Shopify report you can run. Oh, you need to email people about their update? All right, in Klaviyo, make a segment and say, just a dynamic segment of just people who ordered this product. None of these things require additional apps. But it's social proof. So let's say your goal is 25,000. You should set your goal at 10,000 because no one wants to jump in on a product that they don't think is going to be produced or that no one else is. The hardest order to get is the first one. So that first order, you should place it yourself so that when everyone shows up, there's at least one in there, right? Send it to friends and family first, then announce it to your customers and do it in waves. And ideally, as soon as you get to that goal and you could keep that excitement going, because it will be a full-time job to promote a pre-order campaign while you're running it, then you will exceed your goal wildly and get to your goal. And I'm not making this stuff up. This is all I got from master marketer Andy Bedell at Keysmart, who used the beta version of Crowdfunder to run $1 million campaign on a product that cost $25.
It's the same general rubric. The way we think about a lot of other stuff is you're overthinking it. Stop overthinking it. I mean, if you want to do a pre-order, put pre-order in the title of the product, put pre-order in the product description, bolded so people read it. Done. You're doing a pre-order. I mean, obviously we want to sell you Crowdfunder because we get some money off of it, but all it does is add a couple extra widgets for social proof. It makes it look nicer. It's a nice little thing, but don't let that hold you back from doing a pre-order. Just do it by yourself. Who cares?
Yeah, and the other thing with a pre-order, I think the critical to the success is have a low goal so that you can blow past your goal because that looks really good. It's a form of social proof, and focus on social proof. As you get reviews and testimonials from bloggers, press, influencers, customers, whatever it is, start adding that stuff into your promotion and into the product description. And as you reach your pre-order goals, make sure you are sharing those milestones getting hit. Because I think the important part is not the pre-order aspect of it. It's the social proof that it's a group buy. It's a thing we are all doing together. And don't overthink it, man. If you have to use an app, you probably honestly, you don't. you just don't.
You don't have to use an app for this.
No, not for this one. All right. So, best practices for reducing and managing returns.
Well, I think one is you want to make as much obvious and easy communication.
Over-communicate
with the client as much as possible, with the buyer. So you want You want those sizing guides on your product pages. You want to measure everything correctly, so everything is the size that you say it is, so they know that it's correct when they get it.
You know what one drives me nuts is when you click the size guide link on, because honestly, like incorrect sizing is probably one of the largest reason for returns and exchanges, is when you click on the size guide link and it just gives you like a universal one for everything, and they're like, yeah, this is kind of close. Like, it doesn't help me. I want, what we do for clients is we make it tag based. So when you tag the product like size guide : shoes, and then that product, when you open the size guide, it is for those shoes. I love that one. That makes life much easier and saner. So I think number one is over communicate. You're absolutely right. Number two, when you do see returns and exchanges, always figure out the reason, log it, and then try to circle back on finding a way to bust that objection in advance before they're returning the thing to you. Because on the topic of, well, let's increase profitability and reduce costs and expenses, well, certainly returns and exchanges are an expense center. So sizing is one of those, is a huge one. So for sizing, do product-specific size guides. You have to do tags to do this. Some themes will support a solution for it. Make sure you've got a good size guide that is specific to it, not a generic one. Often, if you're like printing t-shirts on blanks, you can get the size guide from the manufacturer and use that. The other issue is...
But I'm talking about like physical goods as well. If you're selling a physical good, also give the accurate measurements of that physical good. So people know.
You had an experience there. Tell us about that.
It's a very personal issue for me. No, I have this like weird nook in my basement.
It's not weird, it's cool. Little display case looking thing.
It's like a cutout in the wall.
It's where you put like your Venetian bust.
It's where you put like your Oscar, and it has like a spotlight. It has like a spotlight over it and everything. And I was like, what the hell am I gonna put in there? So I found like this guy that refurbs old. I like old timey stuff from the 30s and 40s. I like old timey stuff. Just say you like Art Nouveau antiques. Shut your mouth. So I bought this vintage Tombstone radio from 1937, and I was like, okay, well, the width of the nook is 42 inches or whatever. And I was like, I can only get a radio that is 42 inches wide. Like, it's got to be narrower than that. So I went and spent, and he refurbs these radios. They're beautiful. They still work. He adds an aux cable to it, so you could like be bumping like, Dr. Dre through your 1937 radio. It's awesome.
But what was the issue you ran into?
The issue I ran into was that he put the measurements down on the listing, and then I bought it, and then it got shipped to me, and the measurements were wrong. So it's too big for my trophy nook.
So the place you were going to put it, you couldn't use it, and you now own what you described as an embarrassingly expensive radio.
Yeah, you were like, how much did that cost? That's cool. And I'm like, I'm too embarrassed to tell you how much it cost. And I'm not telling anyone.
$800?
Now, I'm not saying.
$1,000.
You can just keep saying
$1,400?
Yeah, you got it. How'd you know?
Oh, my God. That's ridiculous.
It was not.
Computers.
That was the wrong soundbite. I apologize.
It was not $1,400.
Right. It's $1,500.
But yes. So I'm mad about that. Measure your stuff right. And I was like, hey, dumbass, you measured this thing wrong. And he was like, oh, I'm old. I'm getting slow. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like,
so you can still sell stuff on eBay, but you can't work a tape measure. I don't believe you.
Yeah, it's like you can run an Etsy store and like refurb old radios, but you can't, measure things. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. So you got to over-communicate on everything is the initial promise. Definitely, sizing is certainly an issue. Regardless of apparel, like 100% you need this for apparel, but for a lot of things, sizing is helpful because I can't see it in person. I can't handle it. I can't measure it. The other issue is the default behavior in most Shopify themes is it defaults to a selection. If you just load up any random product page that's got variant options, the add to cart button works. You could just click add to cart because it defaults to a selection.
Yeah, in Liquid it's called it's first available variant.
Yeah.
And it auto populates first available variant.
The issue with that is I could see a t-shirt. I'd be like, oh man, a Vaporwave Darth Vader sweatshirt, which is a real thing I bought last week. Pixel Empire is the name of the store. And the guy, for helping him out, he said, hey, here's a $50 coupon. You can go get some. So naturally I got the Synthwave Vader shirt. So thank you, Dylan at Pixel Empire. But with apparel, this becomes a problem where I see the sweatshirt go, that's the one I want, and I get excited, I click add to cart. The problem is I wear a large, and it probably defaulted to small, the first thing in the list. So I don't notice, it gets sent to me, and now I have to exchange it. That's a really common problem for apparel stores. So more times than we can count, we have changed that behavior where the add to cart button is disabled until they make a selection.
Yeah, and it I've done it on stores where I've added like a little field to that auto changes. It's like your selection, and then it will say small or extra large next to it, and will change depending on if they change it.
Definitely counts as over communicating.
Yeah, it doesn't really help.
No,
It gets rid of some of them, but there's still
slows it
people
down.
there's still people that manage to quick add those smalls
Yeah.
and then get mad that they got a small.
It's like, well, we sent you the thing you ordered. But no, that's the solution is to not have it default to something they have to pick before they can add to cart.
Well, I think one last thing. I mean, if it's a thing that people are going to have to figure out how to use, I would have like a post-purchase email sequence of like, here's how to use this thing so you don't get frustrated.
Major key alert.
So
Oh
on
my
that
God.
one, what? Do I need new sounds?
I'm just sick of it.
Ugh, I love it. What was I going to say? Nah,
Yes.
you lost me.
Post-purchase emails.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like if there's usage to your product or there's common issues that people have that are easily resolved by like reading the instructions, you could set up a product-specific post-purchase flow in Klaviyo or whatever email automation software that will that you send them essentially instructions and a usage guide. Outdoor Voices has a really good example of this, where they tell you like care instructions, but more importantly, if you have an issue, they tell you how to resolve it. So they actually preempt returns and exchanges right there. If you do get so far as the returns and exchanges, it's tough to keep it sorted because you got to find out why, send them a label, they got to send it back, you got to refund them or send them. So it can get confusing. So 100% you want to use some kind of CRM to manage it. And the one I really like that we've played with is Bold Returns Manager, because you go in and tell it like, okay, these are the different return reasons for my store. These are what people, or these are like in this scenario we pay for shipping. In this scenario the customer pays for shipping, and then it prints and sends sends the label to them. It's very cool, and that way the customer could see the status of the return. You could see what returns you have open, and it handles a lot of the back and forth. So if returns are just like a thing you have to deal with, a CRM app like Returns Manager for managing returns is very helpful. Let's go get some Legos.
Okay.
All right, I'm recording my screen. I am on Lego.com, the US store. Do you see this with me?
I see this with you.
And on load, it's a carousel. It says exclusive new brick sketches.
Yeah, dude. It's the Lego store.
Okay.
I found it.
Excellent. Initial impressions. I know what mine are.
The first thing I noticed is the main navigation. Well, first of all, there's a lot of stuff up there.
There is.
It's like we got like a little sub menu with About Us, VIP, Find a Store, like that stuff. We got your account. I call that the cart cruft area in the theme in the theme that I wrote. That's all your crap out near the cart. And then we got the main navigation, the free shipping bar below the main navigation. I feel like it's getting lost in the shuffle there, even though it's got a cool little shipper guy minifig.
Yeah, I noticed that
in it.
last.
Yeah, the font's too small too.
Did you see that the Lego logo redraws itself every so often?
Yeah, that's like a weird animated GIF that
Little Easter egg.
that we don't need. But the main thing I think is this navigation, which is a series of mega menus, but they all overlap, which I think is like it's a different way to shop. You could shop by themes. You know, it's like I want Lego Originals, I want Classic, I want Star Wars stuff. You know, all those different types of Legos. Or you could shop by new, popular, shop by age, shop by price. I mean, that way of looking at it.
Yeah,
And
what's
then-
nice is they gave me so many ways to get all to the same places. Like shop by theme or interest. There's a lot of overlap there. Shop by, and then that menu is like new, popular, age, price, So I think a misconception merchants have is an item can only be in your main menu once. It isn't the case. People shop in different ways, especially with a big catalog and one as big as Legos. So they're giving me multiple ways to get to the product. Now, what would make more sense is a giant search box on the homepage. I think that would be smart.
Well, there is one. What do you call that?
Well, they've got the search in the header. I'm talking like I want it as a section on the homepage.
Oh, I think I don't think you need that. People know where to look. People know where to look for a search box.
They also a couple other interesting things here. The carousel does not auto advance. It has not skipped. It's on carousel 1. It has not skipped to slide 2 once unless I click it. I think that's a choice. You don't see that often.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have known that they have a giant helicarrier. That apparently a giant MODOK is fighting it. I don't know.
What I like, if you scroll like right under that carousel, is they've got their featured collections, but they're tiny. It's not like giant blocks. They're almost. It's like they were trying to make it life-size minifigs.
I'm surprised at how small the fonts are on this.
It is unusually tiny.
Yeah, it's like really small.
So how should we shop? How should we get to a collection here?
I think we both know we want Star Wars stuff.
Okay, we could agree on that. So I go and because they've organized it in multiple different ways, I know immediately it's going to be under themes.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's under there. Now, what's interesting about this, Star Wars is the only thing that's in italics. Did you see that?
That's got to be like a requirement.
It's a weird licensing agreement.
By Disney or whatever.
All right, so I'll click on Star Wars.
Oh, no.
What?
I want an A-Wing. If you're listening and have too much money, buy me a Lego A-Wing. I love the A-Wing.
It's back-ordered.
It's my favorite Rebellion StarCraft.
We just bought the Harry Potter Hogwarts castle. That's a work in progress.
Yeah, and so the A-Wing is back-ordered. Terrible. Oh, back orders accepted. So I clicked through, went to the A-Wing.
I'm not done with this collection page.
Oh, but
You're not getting no one's buying you an A-Wing. It's over. Go back to the collection page.
I brought it over to, I was going to bring it back to the topic, though, because it says back orders accepted, will ship by August 13th, 2020. So all back order means is you're not getting it soon, but we promise you'll get it.
Okay.
Which is reassuring.
They don't. Do they have like a pre-order app they use for that?
Nope. It just says
does the money go into escrow?
Yeah, I'm pre-ordering an A-Wing.
Oh, I see.
It's just the length of the pre-order.
But I don't. What app did they use? On the collection page, what I appreciate is the collection, the sidebar filtering that they have, and you could do something almost identical to this with product filter and search by Booster. Really nice collection sidebar app. And like they're smart. They gave you so many ways to sort this, but rather than overwhelm you, the most common 3 are defaulted to open, and all the others, like featured, theme, interest, availability, rating, those all default to closed. So I think that's a smart way to do it. I like these sidebar filters when you have a big collection. This is 82 results. Not crazy, but still, it's nice that, like, all right, if I'm buying for a kid and it's for a birthday, present, I could just click age and get to the right age, and that cuts the collection by half. Makes it easier to find my stuff.
Yeah, this store is not on Shopify, but I would be interested in so the easy way on Shopify, you can go to any Shopify store, type in /collection/all, and that'll spit out every single product on the store. And so that's a good sneaky way of seeing, 1, what their best-selling products are, because you can make it sort by best-selling, and 2, how many products that store has. And I would love to do that with this Lego store, because I bet it's a lot.
So I really want to buy that $800 Millennium Falcon.
Also back-ordered.
Back-ordered.
As is Slave 1. So it's like,
Slave 1 is back-ordered? What
are we even doing here?
You know what? Slave 1's pretty cool. I'm looking for one I should buy.
I saw one when I was scrolling through. Oh, if you go to the next page, we can get a Y-Wing.
There's the smaller Millennium Falcon for $160, but I don't want that. That's the baby one. What am I gonna do with that?
I think we're buying a Y-Wing, the loserest ship in the Rebellion.
They got an AT-ST. That's pretty cool. All right, we just need to make a decision here.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Pose X-Wing. I want an
fine.
X-Wing. All right, Pose X-Wing. Here we go. $90. Cool, I'm doing this. Landing on this thing, I appreciate that they have breadcrumbs in the upper left. The interesting choice in the border-itis this thing suffers, there's like a light gray background. That if you just made it all white, this thing would immediately look a lot cleaner. I'm not a big fan of borders and background colors for that reason. They just box everything needlessly.
Well, put your money where your mouth is and use Inspect Element to make the background white.
All right. All right, then. Inspect Element. You're right. Background. There we go. Just go ahead and change that. Why doesn't it not let me do it?
You probably didn't go to the right element. Whatever.
Yeah, all right. I won't mess with that. So I like it. One question people have is, hey, when am I going to get my stuff? And so right under the price, they answer that. It says available now. That's smart. They've got a warning choking hazard thing here. That's important. Safety. You don't want kids choking. If you wanted to do something like that in a Shopify store, you could trigger it by tag. So like every product tag, choking hazard, would get this badge and text. Scrolling down, they've got like shop by collection in here where it says shop more like this, Star Wars space. That's smart in that they know I'm browsing a huge catalog and they're trying to keep me from leaving. So they use that internal linking. They've got a cool infographic type thing. 661 pieces, item number. I think that's cool. That's you could build that with tags or meta fields. A long description, even though everyone says nobody reads. They've got a really long, detailed description here.
I think that that info bar is really useful because I mean
really nice.
Because I think when you're buying Legos, I think the main thing you care about is like how many pieces it is.
Yeah.
Because that's like how many fun segments are there. Like the more pieces, the more fun.
Right.
So yeah, the fact that this is mine says 761.
This one says 761 as well.
Oh, okay. I thought you said a different number. So like yeah, all right, this is a good one. 761 pieces. Cool. And the VIP points, which I'm assuming is there, like
loyalty
program.
points. Yeah, they're doing a loyalty program because this is definitely a catalog this big. You can do a lot of repeat purchases.
Yeah, but as you scroll down, what do we think of this? Deliveries and returns. So we're anti-hiding content. I think it's fine to have deliveries and returns hiding content because not everyone is going to care about that.
I agree.
You do want it at people's fingertips.
Yes.
So I think having it on the page but hidden is fine.
I wish the customer reviews defaulted to open, though.
My thought exactly. That's literally what I was going to say. I think the reviews should be open, though.
And then at the bottom, it's like recommended for you, and it's accurate. It's all stuff from the Star Wars collection. I don't know how they define the relationship, but it worked.
Yeah, that's very standard, though. Just like calling other things from the same collection.
Yeah. All right, so I've added this thing to my bag. This I don't like. When you click add to bag, it's just like a tiny message at the top of the screen.
Yeah, not enough happens when you click add to bag.
Yeah, it's not at all obvious that it did anything. And why not just take me to my cart?
That's so annoying. Why don't they do that?
In the cart, though, they still have the availability. So I had your A-Wing added, and it did tell me, like, oh, you've got... this is back ordered, and here's the date. And then it's got the X-Wing in here, says available now. So I like that we do that. And it does something clever. To bust objections, in here, there's a note. It says help with your order. And it has a link to shipping and handling and the returns policy. That's smart. I don't know that I've seen that before.
They're both the same page.
You're right. You're right, they are. I'm guessing that returns link is wrong.
No, I think it's both the same probably. It's just that, oh, maybe not.
Oh.
It's just that they end up being on the same page. Yeah, it's shipping and returns.
I need to run my Honey extension to see if I've got any coupon codes here.
Oh, boy.
Very exciting stuff.
Now, because this isn't on Shopify, they got some cart stuff on here that unfortunately you can't do on Shopify. Correct me if I'm wrong. We got this promo code box on here on the cart page.
I've seen apps do it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend or guarantee that you could do this.
Now, one thing we do is...
doo-doo.
On phones in Shopify, this area that has the promo code box defaults to closed.
Yes.
And that leads to a lot of calls on stores where they're like, oh, I have a discount code, but I can't put it in anywhere. There's nowhere to put it. It's like because no one clicks on the link to open it. So there's a little CSS snippet you could put in there that forces that little box to be defaulted to open so people see it on their phones. Then that solves a common problem if you're having that problem on your store.
Down here, if I look at It's got the shipping calculator. I don't love the shipping calculator. I just think, like, I'm adding my zip code in here to estimate it, but I'm going to do it again in checkout anyway. Not my favorite. What I do like, the checkout button has the lock icon and says checkout securely. I usually I like adding the lock icon to the checkout button, and I often rename it proceed to checkout, but reaffirming that it is a secure checkout is smart. They've got pay with PayPal, so we've got our express checkout option in here, similar to how Shopify stores do it. And then below that, they've got this thing that says, congratulations, you get free shipping. I like that as well, and you could do that in a Shopify store with just a little bit of liquid logic.
What are your thoughts on $35 free shipping? I think it could be a lot more.
Oh, certainly. It depends on... I usually do it based on, like, what's your average order value? All right, let's round up from there. That's usually the starting point. But again, it's a thing you could split test.
Yeah, like going through, maybe I'm the different type of Lego consumer. But I mean, even if you go to like, just a tiny little like, oh, it's a little gas station in the city town that has like 2 little cars and a little corner of a gas station. That's still $50. I mean, it's 300 pieces and it's $50. I mean, it is a rare product on this store that's under $35. So I don't know. I kind of feel maybe they just don't want to lose money on the tiny sales, I'm guessing.
So I've put in my address, and now it's got me pick my shipping method. Similar to Shopify, it orders the shipping rules by price. So it goes free, express, or express saver, express. Now, the downside of this is it does not tell me what the carrier is, and they've kind of made up their times. Or their names, but I do like that it's got the transit time. So it's like, well, this is 3 to 5 days. Or you could pay $20, get it 2 to 3. Or you could pay $26, get it in 1 to 2.
That's a lot.
Isn't it?
$20 for shipping, Jesus.
It's a little wild.
That's because you forgot little Timmy's birthday and it's tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I think they do a lot of gift purchases, or maybe just like weird rich man children who need their stuff like now.
Hey.
I've spent close to $1,000 on Lego this year, so
yeah, whatever. You got a Power Glove, man.
I got a Power Glove. Their email opt-in is default to uncheck and says yet. All right, so I put in my email address, my phone number, continue to payment. What's this thing look like? All right, pay with card, or I could pay with PayPal from in here. And it's pretty straightforward. It looks like not unlike the Shopify one. All right, I got cold feet. I don't actually want this X-Wing. If it's Poe's X-Wing, if it were like vintage Luke X-Wing, I'd do it.
Yeah, I mean, if it was in...
Like, if we're doing X-Wings, I want Luke's X-Wing.
Yeah, if it was in Red Squadron, that's different.
Now, in here, what's interesting, at the bottom, it says customer service, and it's got their phone number. They should put that at the top. You could just add, in Shopify, you could redo your logo with it. All right, I'm finishing the screencast. It was an exciting adventure.
In the world of Lego.
In the world of Lego. And it's a clean site. It works. I think, their issue is just having a giant catalog and trying to sort through it. Not unlike our MLIB teardown, where it's, hey, you just got to deal with a huge catalog and help people sort through it. Not unsurprisingly, Lego does a great job of it.
Yep.
So, I think we'll wrap it up there, fine sir.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode, so please join our Facebook group. Just search the Unofficial Shopify Podcast Insiders on Facebook. And we've had quite a few new folks joining in the last several weeks, so the more the merrier. Come on, please join us. We're happy to have you.
Bye, everybody.